Hello, everybody. This is Don Markland with Accountability Now, and welcome to the Morning Jolt, where we give you small tidbits of data, information, and inspiration to make better decisions today. It's a tactical podcast about making today better today. In a recent coaching session I was having with a client, we were talking about his career trajectory and some things that he was working on. And as we were doing that, we discovered there was a disease that he had that he didn't know was present. And I'm not a doctor, even though my father is, and I sometimes believe that I am, like my wife says. We discovered this, and it was actually pretty frustrating from his point. This disease had plagued him for the last 20 years. After further discussion, we learned that this had been present almost his entire life. It had caused him to miss out on promotions, struggle at times with his own marriage, even make far less money than he should have through almost his entire career. There wasn't a part of his life that this disease hadn't touched. It was complete infection. This disease is called the gonnado disease. And I get it, I'm being a little facetious and dramatic in my storytelling. And my family will roll their eyes when I do that because I'm always dramatic in my storytelling. But the point is the same, the gonnado disease. The story is real. The coaching session was real. And I want you to think about what the gonnado disease is. For the past 20 years, this executive had been stuck in with the disease of gonnados. I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. And the trouble with this disease of the gonnados, it's how it masks its symptoms so well. For example, for a while my client felt undervalued at work because he thought I wasn't educated enough. That's what he blamed. So he said things like, they don't appreciate me because I don't have my MBA. Others do. So he spent a ton of time and money on more education. He said things like, I'm going to fight for a better promotion and more salary once I get my MBA completed. Now, I'm not discounting the value of education. I learned a ton when I got my MBA. But what I'm saying here is what Dr. Phil says all the time when he says, you can't fix internal problems with external solutions. Sure enough, once the MBA was done, did this executive fight for a promotion? No. Of course not. He just thought one would come. People would show up, say, congratulations, here's your bonus, or here's your salary increase. And of course, none of that happened. Later, he was passed up for promotions time and time again. He watched other people who he knew he did better work than they did, and even told so by their superiors. Yet those people seemed to jump ahead of him in the line. Why? Because he said things like, I'm going to network once I finish this big work project, or I'm going to spend more time reading and getting better at what I do once I put out the latest set of fires. And the list goes on and on. He was infected with the gonnados. What about you? What are your gonnados? How has it infected you? Let me ask you, have you said these things? I'm going to take my spouse on a date. I'm going to finish that project in the house. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to spend more time with my kids. I'm going to wake up earlier. I'm going to take a course. I'm going to hire a coach. You ever said those things and they never get done? You're infected with the gonnados. Let me tell you, this plagues so many people. Every single one of my coaching clients has this infection, and it's what we spend so much time trying to get rid of. And I'm going to walk you through two simple things, two tricks to help get rid of the gonnados in your life. First, you've got to change gonna-do to must. That simple word, you've got to fix that. You've got to get rid of that gonna-do. It's got to change to must. I must finish that project in the house. I must lose weight. I must spend more time with my kids. I must wake up earlier. I must take a course. I must hire a coach. That must, if you don't believe it's a must, then it won't happen. The must is the emotional connection to decisions and habits. Secondly, you have to believe that you or I can change it. Not hiring somebody, they won't change it. You have to do it. The past does not equal the future. Just because you failed 1,000,000 times at something does not mean you will fail now. Your history does not dictate your future. All beliefs carry with them consequences, as Tony Robbins says. So believe that you must change something and believe that you are the one to change it. And the consequences are with that belief that you can do it. In the 1840s, thousands and thousands of immigrants and Americans trekked across the wild United States to travel to the West Coast on the idea that they could find gold in the mines and rivers of California. This is known as the California Gold Rush. They risked everything for this, and many came up empty-handed. But here's the point that is so essential. All of them believed they must do this, and that they were the ones that could do it. They didn't sit back in Oklahoma or Ohio or the Carolinas or whatever and wait for the gold to come to them. Miners go to the gold. They go seek it out. They must do it, and they go for it. Miners go to the gold, and so should you. You want more content? First, leave a review. Subscribe on Apple or Spotify. You can follow me on Forbes. You can follow me on Twitter at Don Markland or on Instagram, executivecoach.don, or my website, accountabilitynow.net. As always, check out my company, the greatest digital marketing agency in the world, 411 Locals. And this is your Morning Jolt.